Eric, hi. How are you today?
Hi, Jen. I'm good.
I'm so happy that you're here on my podcast.
Girl, it's an honor.
Thank you for being here today on this beautiful Monday.
Is it a Monday?
It is a Monday. Can you believe it? We made it through the weekend.
Well, see, my weekends are different.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
That's
weekends are like currently Friday, Saturday, but as an entrepreneur, they could be anything.
Yeah? How was it at the farmer's market yesterday? We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, let's see. What did I do? Yesterday was a soap day for me.
Yeah?
So I sell, can I say my company?
Please do.
Okay. I sell at the Ballard Farmers Market. Do Re Mi Fa Soap is my bath and body company.
La la la.
La 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 la. Yeah. And then soapbyeric.com for all your listeners internationally.
Yeah, definitely.
And by internationally, I mean not in Seattle. Or not wanting to go to Ballard.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, your soap is amazing, by the way. I have used some of it.
Well, enough about that.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about my soap.
We can
We're
move
not
on.
here for that.
That's fine.
Cool.
So, yeah, I invited you on my podcast today just because I think, like, the more I interact with you, the more you just, I don't know, you're a very interesting person.
The more I interact with you, the more I like you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure at first.
Yeah. You were on the line. Hey, that's totally fair.
I don't know.
It's love and war.
How many people live in this house?
We have a lot of people in this house.
And you and I live together.
We do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
on the basement, and I'm at the top up here in this beautiful room.
Yeah, we swapped spots too.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets pretty warm up here in the summers, so I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I know we've talked a little bit about your story in the past, and so I'd love to dive in and ask you a few questions if that works for you.
Yeah, that works. Let's
Awesome,
do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about how you grew up in a kind of more religious family.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Seventh-day Adventist.
That was it.
Adventist.
Yes.
How is it?
Adventist, yeah.
Adventist.
Seventh-day Adventist, SDA.
So I had to ask you about that. So I grew up in church as well, but it was different, right? There's like the Southern Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for my little brand of hue of Christianity was like, you're at church like every day. It's like Sunday you're there, Monday you're there. There's like Wednesday dinners in the fellowship hall.
They warned us about you.
Yeah.
No,
there's
they
like
did.
youth group on Fridays. There's like choir practice. There's like volunteer your whole life and I'll be there, just sleep there.
Yeah.
Was that how it was for you, or is it a little different?
It was different because I'm also from a small town, and so there weren't as many resources. So the closest stoplight, for context, 50 miles away.
Okay.
That's the closest, or 45. It depends on which way you went.
Yeah.
Closest stoplight, a long way away. And so, like, the pastor of our church was also the pastor of the church that was 40 miles away in the next county. And so the pastor would usually alternate Sabbaths preaching, and then, like, an elder would do the sermon on
Okay.
alternating Sabbaths. We would sometimes have... Oh, I haven't thought about this in a while. We'd sometimes have periods of time where we'd have prayer meetings on, like, Tuesday nights. Prayer meetings or Bible studies, or like a period where an evangelist would come through town and give like a series. Sometimes there would be cooking classes.
Oh, that sounds fun, actually.
Yeah, well, so Seventh-day Adventism, I'm going to sound like I'm selling Seventh-day Adventism.
Are you?
No. No, but I got very good at it within Seventh-day Adventism.
Yeah.
And now I'm a drag queen.
You are a drag queen.
I'm a drag queen. I'm a kinky bitch. I'm a consent enthusiast.
You are.
I'm a burner. I do so much.
Yeah.
So.
How was that transition for you?
Not immediate.
Yeah.
So I jumped forward. Now I need to jump back and answer. What was the question?
I was just curious, just how our church was different.
Yeah, well, Sabbaths were the big thing.
Okay.
Sabbaths are the big thing. So, there's 27 fundamental beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Last I checked.
Oh, They should just round up to 30. It'd be easier to remember. For me, anyways.
I mean,
Math.
At least it's a multiple of 9, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
But whatever. I don't do math. I'm a musician.
Calculators. I love them.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I like a graphing calculator. It feels nice and heavy in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So Seventh-day Adventists worship on Sabbath, on Saturday, and they're really anal about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the seventh day is the Sabbath because that's when he rested, when God rested when he was creating the earth, and it's only ever the seventh day.
I get it.
And it has to do with a certain calendar, and, like, it's that. That is it.
Okay. So
Very
would you say, like, would your church feel like a family to you?
Churches do not feel like families to me currently. I'm trying to heal that relationship somewhat in that I'm trying to reframe my own beliefs around church. But church did feel like a family growing up for the first, like, 11 years of my life.
Yeah.
And then through a series of events, my mom was excommunicated from the church.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And then a couple years later, I came out. And summers were Vacation Bible School, of course.
Yeah.
And all of the Vacation Bible schools that I loved helping with, I was no longer allowed to. No longer fucking allowed to. Because they deemed me a predator in 2010, 2011, 2012-ish, somewhere in that range when I came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could see now why. Yeah. You might want to...
You can see now why they deem me a pret. No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all. No, that's hard.
Yeah.
Would you say that you got your musical voice? Like, did you start singing at church? Or, I know a lot of people do.
Yes. So, church for me, the things that I look on fondly with church is that church was community. Church was music, because we would have, like, music service, and we believed in, like, singing hymns. If there was an acoustic guitar on stage, it was a little bit too liberal.
A little too hairy.
For our particular congregation.
Gotta stick with How Great Thou Art.
I love that song. Don't even. So then, like, at the age of, like, 9 or 10, I started, quote, rebelling by listening to contemporary Christian music.
It's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll, man.
And then at boarding school...
Oh, you had boarding school.
I went to a Seventh-day Adventist boarding school that wasn't actually part of the Seventh-day Adventist Union.
Mm-hmm.
It was an offshoot of more conservative Seventh-day Adventists. Because that was a little bit more cheap. And there we had Bible class that taught us about, literally, there was for a while in Bible class we had a quarter or a semester where we watched these videos on how anything with a drum or secular or pop culture was the devil.
Those beats can get evil.
I mean, I know now. You should see me out at the club. Okay. I do bad things at the club.
Yeah, let's talk about your life in Seattle. I'd love to hear more about that.
So, I came to Seattle from Bellingham, where I was in school. I've been in Seattle for closer to 10 years now than anything else.
Would you say Bellingham was a good, like, transition for you from home to Seattle?
It was, because I slowly transitioned from my town of 500 people to a college town a little bit, like, not even a college town, a town close to home that had a college with a residence life program, to Spokane, spent a summer in Peru, and then moved to Bellingham. And then it was, like, in Bellingham that I started becoming overwhelmed in my personal psychology and whatever, overwhelmed with life and what I needed to be in life. And that was, like, when I first started, I dropped out of school up there. I didn't finish the degree, which was music ed. So I was studying music education, and working at a soap making supply shop.
Mm-hmm.
So Bellingham is kind of my origin story.
Yeah, I love that.
In many ways. We'll get back to why drag relates to that if you want.
Sure, I'd love to.
And then, so I came to Seattle because I dropped out of school. I thought if I just worked full time at my job, then everything would be fine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And then I sought like the connection of the community and the music, and lusted after travel, and then moved to Seattle because I wanted to go to a bigger city. I wanted to get out of Bellingham, with a job for Passenger Railroad, Amtrak. Worked for Amtrak for a couple of years.
Choo choo.
I mean, girl, I could sing to myself at any time I've been working on the railroad.
Did you travel a lot when you worked for Amtrak?
On the train. Yeah. So hypothetically, they could have like flown us places to work, and that never happened out of our crew base because we're a smaller crew base for Amtrak. Oh, I haven't thought about this in a while either. The therapy. Good thing I don't have a therapist right now. They'd feel like I was cheating.
We did find out the other day you're a Life Path 5, which is all about travel and being adventurous.
I believe
so
you.
This is
I remember
making
that.
sense.
I remember that vaguely.
The connection's making sense.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so I moved to Seattle for travel. I worked in travel for a couple of years. I liked the work itself. I did not like the working environment, and I did not like the politics and the management because I was still like early 20s, and of course I didn't. And so then I quit that. I put in my notice when something went wrong at work. Let that be my sign. Ended up really quickly joining a chorus, the Seattle Men's Chorus.
Fun.
Which is part of a larger organization. It is gender inclusive as well. They just suck at the forward-facing like branding of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then through that, was able to sell my car, buy a new car so that I could drive Lyft. Found a job teaching at a public school, teaching music at a public school without a formal education degree.
I love that.
Which was a homeschool cooperative. Worked out really well because of all my experience with homeschool and with education and with working with kids. They hired me. I worked there for 3 years. And then when I wanted to transition out of that, I started, I put in more effort to build Do Re Mi Fa Soap into something. And now I'm at the point where like Do Re Mi Fa Soap and self-employment have been what have nurtured me. They have also been, they are what have helped keep me afloat, and also what have been things that I tie my self-worth to that have tied me down. And so now I'm like finding the night. I'm still working on the level check, the sound level check, if
like
you will,
the balance
of like income versus energy, all of it, so that I can live the life that I want to live.
I love that.
And currently the life that I want to live is not making soap the rest of my life, but I do have amazing customers. And so
tell me more about what you want to do.
Okay.
More long term.
Yes.
We talked about that a little bit the other day.
So wait, what did I say the other day though? It changes every moment. Okay. I want to work in entertainment. I want to work in entertainment. You are the third podcast I've ever been interviewed for. And as far as I know, the first one didn't get posted because I was boring as shit. It was like a kink podcast, like a kink gay men, like queer kink origins podcast.
Yeah.
And I was really boring.
I'm not bored.
You're not bored?
No.
Good. I don't have to bring out the whips and chains.
Not currently.
Okay,
So you want to do entertainment. Tell me more about that, because you've told me a little bit about, like, I know that you're going to be potentially doing a reality TV show in LA, which sounds super exciting to me.
Yes, For the Love of Dilfs on Out TV, season 4, whenever that airs.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm being scouted for currently. Those details could change.
Yeah.
Because we're only in scouting.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And you told me you have your show coming up in SoCan. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, yeah. So what I want to do is performance. I've been involved in performance my whole life, on and off. And it's been the through line of everything. And that's not like the little realist voice in my head goes, well, yeah, everyone wants to be in performance. And then the other like the optimistic realist in me says, oh, well, look at all that you've done in 28 years, despite your struggles. And take into account your privilege. You are a white man. You are a person who can walk around the U.S. and, like, anywhere and not have race count against you, or gender if you present right. So, like, what I want to do is some amalgamation of working in, like, the highest tiers of entertainment. I don't know if it's that I want to aim for Disney. I don't know if I want to do writing. I know I like comedy and I like being funny and I have fun perspectives from my life. I have acting training. I have drag background. And I'm working right now to get into, like, to start my path and start my professional presence as an emerging intimacy professional, which means that I'm, like, on set or at rehearsal for film or theater productions, and I would then be the go-to or the coordinator that deals with all things intimacy. So it's not a field that it's not a focus that's new in professional performance art. It's just that it's a field that has not had a dedicated person. It's a field that, like, the costumers or the directors or the actors themselves have had to advocate for themselves. And so now it would be me if you hire me, is what I'm saying.
Hire him.
If you hire me to step up and be the person that takes notes on everything in the script, and who is able to be a consultant if you don't have the budget to bring me in for the show, and say, hey, I have specialty in what it's like to be a drag queen, what a drag performer goes through on the outside often, the culture of it, and then about kink. I'm very well versed in the kink community. I have a fet life, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And I, like, all of these things are who I am. And so I'm trying to bring a fully embodied version of myself to my career, and then meet them together in one beautiful, beautiful thing that stands the test of time. No big deal.
No big deal.
No, whatever. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13.
I love that you went there. Okay, so that sounds really fascinating to me, actually.
Yeah. Do you want to hear more about that?
Well, actually, I wanted to ask you more about your drag shows, because I know that you had one in December that I missed because I went home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm trying to picture. Is it kind of like a one-person show? Like, do you do it solo, or do you have people that come and help you, or, like, what does that look like? I'm curious because I've only ever done, at this point, one improv show myself, and that's definitely not alone. But when I envision you there, I'm like, go Eric. by yourself?
Well, so here's the thing. I've done a little bit of improv training. I've done a lot of actual acting. I've done a lot of I've done some musical theater. Well, no, it's probably half and half, like straight acting and musical theater. And I've just been on stage a lot, even from those early days in church, doing like special music and stuff. So what that looks like for me is that as a producer of my own shows, I am doing what the fuck I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do. And what that looks like as well is that on social media, I'm posting ridiculously caricaturized things as I hone down what my character of Glam Chowder is. That's glam with a G, Glam Chowder, glamorous Richard Chowder, Glam R Chowder like Toys R Us.
In the house.
Yes. Instagram Glam R Chowder.
Definitely. We'll put that in the show notes.
Perfect. And so in August, I did my first self-produced drag show that's like more of a formal drag show, and it went really, really, really well. But the feedback that I had for myself with that was that I was the one who did all of the promotional work. And I got fellow performers there out of luck and a few personal connections or money. And any one of those things on their own is not sustainable. And so I'm working on my business model to kind of intertwine, you know, the fact that like if you're performing at one of my drag shows, you're going to get paid a base rate and a commission based off of ticket sales. If you are my musician, I have this frame of reference for you. Like I'm taking SAG-AFTRA as a union and like looking at what they do and making something for Glam Chowder. And then who knows, you might see the Church of Glam Chowder pop up because I'm sacrilegious like that now.
I love it.
Or, you know, the temple of the Holy Salty Mother herself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like that. Let me think. Okay, so that was your first show was in August.
Yes.
And then you had another one in Christmas. And then you have another one coming up in Spokane in a few months.
So I just had another one
that's right.
like a week and a half ago, just at a wine bar of a friend's here in Seattle. And then
I think it'd be fun to perform at a wine bar.
Oh my God, it was.
Yeah.
It was a different space than I was used to. So it was like more echoey, and I was like, I want to be in the center, and so I didn't go where they normally set up the stage, and that was a mistake because it was weird to like try and get energy to my left, to my front, to my right, and like bring them all together. So I have archival footage of that I need to watch back and just see what worked and what didn't for future show planning. And then I'm gonna do some sort of self-produced pop-up drag show in Spokane when I'm over there for a drag gig through Sweet Adeline's International.
Okay.
Which is directly connected with my chosen sister, who is a quartet international champion with them. She is amazing. Nikki Blackmer, Frenzy Quartet. If you know the community, you are going to know those names. And I am her little brother, who she has adopted now a little over 4 years ago. I have a Christmas stocking at her house and everything, full brag. I love her so much. And
so that's in August?
No, that's in May.
May. So guys, if you're in Spokane in May, definitely go check that out.
Yes, follow me on the social media because it'll all be posted there.
Yeah.
I'm working on a website for Glam Chowder too. But now this has just turned into me shamelessly self-promoting, which is...
that's what I'm here for.
Okay, cool.
Your life inspires me. That's why I actually wanted to have you on the show.
Thanks, girl.
I love that. Like, I love the entrepreneurial spirit about you. I love that you're like figuring it out as you go. This is definitely entrepreneurial. Like, you do a little bit of this and like you said, look through the archives and like figure it out. And I love that I think I love the way that you do self-promote, because I was like,
thank you.
Yeah, I've been inspired by that, because I'm not always the best at self-promotion, and it takes I I think it takes someone that has that like dream and that desire and is willing to do whatever it takes to like see it happen and make it go
honey,
through.
I am willing to do it.
You made the comment the other day, you're like, it's not comfortable, like it's not easy, but you're doing it and you're...
No, it's not comfortable, but like just the other day, audience, here we go, Jen snapped a picture for me. I threw on some drag padding that makes me look naked because it's what I call my drag body.
Yeah.
And you took a picture of me pretending to be caught naked with my wig in my hand and my clothes on my hand and all that, and I
turned it into a sticker in like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, turned it into a post on Canva, posted it on social media. I'm going to create a community event out of it that is just like Glam Chatters hang out at the nude beach. Like these are things that are incorporating who I am and what I do into what I want to do and how I want to live my life so that I can do both at the same time without self-depleting. Because I am very prone to self-depletion. That is a pattern of mine that I recognize. And I use the word pattern from my own journey in therapy because the therapist that I had for the longest period of time, she hesitated away from the word balance, and she said life is not a balance because it is more than two things at any given time. It is a flow. It's like a river. When you hit one bank, and this is me relating it back to my voice. When you hit one bank, the water then bounces off and flows a different direction, and the eddies and the currents and if you're in a river, it's different than in a stream, different than in a pond, different in a lake, different than in the ocean. And so I've always wanted to be a drop of water, and now I'm trying to be the biggest body of water I can be.
I love that.
If you will.
It feels very roomy.
It feels roomy. Yeah, Glam Chowder likes to be wet. What can we say?
I like that analogy. I like that analogy a lot. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Well, we only have a few minutes left. Is there any other self-promoting? Tell me where can everyone find you? So you've told us one time.
Yes, but I'll just put it all together here at the end. Okay. So, currently my personal Instagram handle is hello, I'm the most. That's no apostrophes, all lowercase. You know how social media handles work. My business for the soap is Do Re Mi Fa Soap OG, and if you just Google Do Re Mi Fa Soap, it will come up. Even if you don't know how to spell the Italian solfege, I don't blame you. I'm a musician. I'm that nerd. Glam R Chowder or Glam Chowder. There is a glam with an E and a chowda with an A at the end on the East Coast. But I've messaged with her. We're friends, and I will win. It happened already with Do Re Mi Fa Soap. Somebody popped up with a Do Re Mi Fa Soap at the same time that I did, and I had just submitted the trademark application, and so he backed down and he just signed over the URL, the domain link to the website to me. So my website for soap is Soap by Eric, ERIC. Okay. Soapbyeric.com, or soon to be doremifassoap.com. You may also be able to find Glam Chowder at glamchowder.net, because I figure Glam Chowder would get caught in a fishing net. So that works. And because glamchowder.com was too expensive and I'm not rich enough.
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. I'm not rich enough yet. Just wait until I'm president.
And then if you're local to Seattle, I know that you're at the Farmers Market in Ballard on Sundays.
Yes, at the Farmers Market in Ballard, I perform as well as produce drag shows as much as I can. You might see me at Studio Saturdays at Cremwork. That's an event that happens once a month that I love, and is a great way to get involved, seeing all levels of talent of drag in the Seattle area. I also have an upcoming show at Club Hectic, HEKTIC, Club Hectic on June 1st of 2024, starting, I think the first of the 3 events of the evening starts, and I should know because I'm producing it, but starts like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. ish, and then it starts with a live naked body exhibition, as much as we can do with a liquor license in the building. Nice. You know, and then a drag show that I'm hosting and producing, but you know, just because I'm hosting and producing doesn't mean I don't perform. I have 2 numbers in it that I have planned.
Yeah.
And then the Fully Loaded Chowder dance party.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Right after.
Yeah.
DJ to be announced.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's the basis of it. If you need me for intimacy coordination or intimacy choreography, intimacy consulting on those specific topics of kink, of drag, or of fetish, then that is at Intimacy Eric on Instagram. And that handle I'm not planning on changing ever. It just seems to fit. And then, you know, the OnlyFans is out there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your life with me today.
Thank you, Jen.
And everyone go find him on the socials and go find him in Seattle if you're local. If not,
Deal.
You know, we'll figure it out.
Deal.
And I'm going to sign off. Thanks everyone for listening today to the Fulfilled Feminine podcast, and we'll catch you later.